Over on 4 Now Friends, here on HTV, we join Dec O'Connor and his guests.
Friday night at 9 o'clock. This is where the stars are. On the show tonight, great music. Natalie Bruglia. Music from the beautiful South. Coming all the way, Ed Byrne is in here. Lee Evans. Lenny Henry. And a very special guest, His Royal Highness the Prince Edward, all here on the show tonight. And my next guest is no stranger to television studios. He is the most distinguished independent TV producer in the land. Will you please welcome His Royal Highness the Prince Edward. Pleased to see you, sir.
Good to see you. Very good to see you. Excellent.
I believe this is sort of a first for both of us, for you and for me. But you're currently working on TV with Ardent Productions. But it does seem to me that you've always had an interest in showbiz, TV, theatre. When did this interest first suddenly get in the mind? When did you first think, yeah, this is what I like?
Well, I've always enjoyed the theatre, right from the very early stages, and I've always enjoyed. Actually, first of all, it was on stage, and then when I was at university, I got.
You were on stage.
Yeah, no, I used to do that as well. Yeah.
Did you? Well, now this has been kept a bit of a secret. I know that Prince Charles did a lot of the footlights and reviews and all those things, but you did you?
Yes, no, I did some when I was at school, and then went on to university. And funny enough, it was university that I changed and started looking at behind the scenes and doing some stage management and getting involved in producing. And
This television production, Ardent TV, that work, does that in any way interfere with your own royal duties?
Oh, well, inevitably. I mean, as soon as I decided to stay in business, because I went into theatre first of all and then made the transition across to television. And it was always going to compete in terms of time.
One of the first jobs that you were involved with was with Andrew Lloyd Webber. And there's that wonderful picture, which I think we're going to put on the screen, of you in the theatre that day, first day at work. The press would have us believe, sir, that you made the tea that day. Did you make the tea that day?
It was a setup.
Was it? Oh, I see. Yeah, absolutely. It was a photo opportunity,
it was a photo opportunity. Somebody suggested that I should wander in there with... Well, the thing was that the job had been surmised by the press that it was going to be making the tea. And so we decided, well, we'll play a joke on them, so we'll go and carry a tea bag. So that's how that particular photograph ended up. The fascinating thing was that after, 3 years in that particular business, as far as the press were concerned, the only thing I'd ever done was make the tea. And although that, in some ways, it's perhaps a bit depressing, actually, I take it as a great compliment for all the people that I worked with in the theatre, that they never actually spoke to the press. They never actually told them what I was doing, and they really enjoyed the fact that I worked in the business. So I was, it's a compliment to all the people I worked with that they kept their confidence.
There's a story that was going around at that time, that first day in the theatre, which was a long day for you, actually in the theatre itself. Do you remember that you went back home and they were asking you what sort of a day it was? Do you recall that?
Absolutely, no. I went back and collapsed into a heap and said, God, you don't know. Said to my parents, God, you haven't got a clue what it's like working in the theatre for, 8 hours. And they said, oh, but we do. We go to the Royal Variety performance. Well, you're certainly making more than tea now with Ardent Productions, and we'll talk about the new production shortly. But you're also presenting, and we've got a clip here from I think your most recent appearance on Crown and Country. The King's eldest son, Edward, later Edward I, Conqueror of Wales and Hammer of the Scots, tried to regain the initiative. Rallying his choice knights, he instructed them to follow him up the hill on horseback. By the time they wheeled back towards Lewes, it was already too late.
Did that come easy? I mean, riding a motorbike. Had you ridden a motorbike before?
No, never. It was
Oh, you must have had some lessons.
No, well, no, I had to have some lessons before I went and did that. No, it was a very silly idea that came up in the production office. And the idea was we were doing a sort of contemporary show, and you couldn't suddenly have me sort of walking about in the middle of a battlefield. So I said, well, why don't you dress up as a biker? Because all basically the leathers and all the protection is basically modern-day form of leathers, of armour. So I said, you look quite good. Well, that was fine, that bit was fine. They then found the biggest bike they could lay their hands on, and then set it on grass, wet grass, uphill, and said, OK, start from there. I won't tell you how many takes.
How many takes? How many takes, sir?
It was a complete nightmare. All I'd say is that the other chaps who came out there and were in the background there were very patient, but...
More than two?
Oh, yeah, no, definitely more than two. Definitely.
4?
And the thing was...
8?
And the thing was...
10?
You can see from that picture...
We were told 10, sir.
Were you? Well, you can make it 20 if you like. I mean, it's, you know, who cares? But you can tell from that, it's bright blue sunshine. It was absolutely fantastic. The intro was that the director decided that he was going to go and get some real knights and put them on horses and have them running around, which got very complicated, as you could probably tell from those pictures. But my God, we had a laugh doing it. It absolutely sluiced with rain, and we were up on above Lewes. And trying to make the two sets of pictures work together was going to be impossible, because one day was absolutely teeming with rain, and the next day was absolutely glorious sunshine. But, I mean, we got some very strange looks from one or two of the locals. Most of us thought, I mean, when we had all the horses and knights running around, they thought that we were travellers. So we got some very strange looks, and one or two very rude words shouted at us. And we actually made it on the equivalent of the flying eye in Lewes, because the spotter plane suddenly came past, and apparently, I didn't hear this, but I only heard about another chap on the radio saying, "You're not going to believe this, but they're reenacting the Battle of Opham Hill above Lewes this morning."
On a set like that, on a location, you're right, there's got to be camaraderie. You've got to join in and help each other out. Do you muck in? Do you know, get in the queue at the catering van for the bacon sandwich? Do you...
Catering van?
Well...
What sort of production do you think that was?
Are you telling me there was a royal buffet?
Catering van?
Well, you see, I understand... So that
Choicest pubs.
You went to the local pub,
Oh,
did you?
absolutely.
Oh, that's good. But I understand members of the royal family they don't carry money. So you weren't on the tap, boy. You like, lend us a couple of quid. Well, you see, a producer, you're a producer.
Absolutely.
And a producer's got to have a few quid, a roll of readies for the float, hasn't he? You know, so...
Yeah, that's why I have a production manager. It's much easier, so you just delegate all that side of it. So it's very easy.
The Inspector Pit Mysteries and the Cater Street Hangman, which is the one we're currently dealing with. Tell us about that. That's on our screen shortly, but tell us about the content.
That's a classic period murder mystery story from an author called Anne Perry, who's actually very well known practically everywhere else in the world except from this country, and she writes here. She wrote this series of novels called Thomas Pitt, and we acquired the rights about 3 years ago and waiting for the right moment to try and put it onto the screens.
We have a clip here from the production.
May I ask if you've come out unaccompanied?
I don't see it's any business of yours.
Well, it is my business. I'm investigating double murder of women who were out in Cater Street alone at night. I'd be glad of it not turning into a triple murder. I'm busy enough as it is.
So it's you who are in charge of inquiries? Surely you don't expect to find your murderer here?
Why not?
Because he's obviously from the underworld.
Really? And where do you imagine the underworld is, Miss Ellison? Down here, perhaps in the sewer?
Please don't take me for a fool, Inspector. It may interest you to know I am widely read in the miseries of those less fortunate than myself.
We'd like to meet now the young man who is playing the lead there. Will you please welcome, with Keeley Hawes, will you please welcome Owen McCarthy. Right.
Yep.
I gather you two will have met. By the way, how are you getting on with the boss?
Oh, he's all right.
Is he a hard taskmaster?
No. Simple. No, he's not at all.
You play Inspector Pitt. What sort of a man? Is he kind of a Victorian Inspector Morse, is he?
He's slightly younger than Inspector Morse. Yeah, he is. It's much the same. It's a classic detective. He's... How would I describe him? He doesn't suffer fools gladly.
This is a major role. I mean, but you've come to acting quite late, and suddenly here you are.
I'm here.
Well, what did your family say when you told them, look, I'm going to become a thespian, I'm going to the acting profession? Were they happy?
No.
No, why not?
They didn't think it was a suitable job for a young man to do. They thought I'd be unemployed all the time.
Really?
And I haven't been. So it's good.
Well, you can see Inspector Pitt next Wednesday, I think it is. We can all see that next Wednesday, and 8 p.m. Now, that is in my old slot. That's where I used to be, 8 o'clock on Wednesday nights. And as the show would finish and the credits were rolling, my family, the phone would ring. So will you be, at the end of that show, standing by the phone?
Why? You've got a family going to ring me, or... Really? All right. Okay.
Yeah, well, they might. So what next, sir? Is it Hollywood? Are you going to be? Are you going to be blockbusters? Are we going to see you stepping up with the Oscars to pick up an Ardent Production Oscar?
No, not for a few years. No, I don't think so. But, although, I mean, I have to say that I think that the team that made this particular production really did a fabulous job. I mean, it's almost like watching a piece of film. I mean, you would stand up in a cinema, but that's a few years off. Yes,
well, that clip showed that it's not just been thrown together. It's obviously a quality production. Wish you luck with that. Wish you luck with your career. Nice to meet you. Brief, but nice to meet you, Owen.
Thank you very much.
And thank you very much, sir, for taking the time to see us.
Thank
Owen
you.
McCarthy.
Thank you.
And His Royal Highness the Prince Edward. We'll be back after the break.